I made $130,000 a year by owning that property. And I told Cody's like, this is gonna be the worst deal we've ever done. He called me 2 months ago and he goes, that was the best deal we've ever done. And I go, it's because I took the extra hour to go down to the city and find out what the path of progress was. Even look right there, they're building apartments on that side too. See all these apartment buildings being blown up? If you go to the city, your city, anybody's city, and you go talk to the county and you say, what does the path of progress look like? Where are the permits being pulled? What dirt are the builders buying? Because they'll buy dirt and they'll sit on this dirt for 5 years. So I got this really horrible deal 4 years ago. Not cash flowing, horrible shape, properties in terrible condition. And this is when the interest rates are low enough that the burst strategy actually worked from time to time. By the way, guys, the burst strategy is a waste of your time. Okay, so I go down to the county says, yeah, this whole area is gonna blow up in the next 4 years. I'm like, okay, cool. So I start going to all the wholesalers in town and I go, send me a deal in this area. Send me a freaking deal in this area. So we buy this house and I tell Cody, he was a brand new partner of mine at the time and he was just kind of learning a lot of what we now know. I had already known all this stuff. And I went to him, I go, I wanna buy this deal, let's partner on it. He goes, what? That's the worst deal. Why would we ever buy that? Look at this, by the way. Look at all these apartments. Okay, this was what, like, drug addicts were walking all over this.
No, this area is bad.
This area was so bad. Oh, this is an example. So it's like this little dirt lot, this was everywhere. And it was just homeless encampments and all sorts of stuff. Like even these little roach motels, there were a bunch of them that were in really bad condition and they've now torn them down. But the city told me this was happening. So because I took the extra 5 minutes, not 5 minutes, it took about an hour. You go down to City of Tempe and City of Tempe says, yes, this area is gonna blow up because these permits are being pulled and this is all public record. So that it's not like I'm asking for secret information. And they go, these permits are being pulled from big builders, like massive apartment builders. I'm like, okay, amazing. I start looking for deals in this neighborhood, which is this deal right here. And it was so ironic that this property is called Lemon Street because this was like, my partner Cody's like, dude, this is a lemon deal. I don't want to do this deal. And I'm like, I'm buying this deal. Why? Because this building went up that was like about to break ground, but nobody has seen it. So this was all vacant. This building goes up. Everything else has been going up. This property has gone up $400,000 in 3 years. I made $130,000 a year by owning that property. And I told Cody's like, this is gonna be the worst deal we've ever done. He called me 2 months ago and he goes, that was the best deal we've ever done. And I go, it's because I took the extra hour to go down to the city and find out what the path of progress was. Even look right there, they're building apartments on that side too. It was so crazy. Okay, so like, look at this house. So this was like the average house in this neighborhood. It's gnarly in here. And so most people are like, oh, this is so bad. This neighborhood's so bad. Why would you buy in here? Again, take a freaking hour of your life. Wow, man, people are firing their like amazing people. Syndication, oh my gosh. So this is a securities attorney. This is crazy what's going on in the market. Securities attorney. I can no longer afford to keep my rock star so-and-so who you've met multiple times. Syndication volume has just fallen off a cliff and it's being sticky. I'm really bummed since she was the missing piece I was looking for. You probably know she used to run sales for Tom Wheelwright. She mentioned she would absolutely love the opportunity to work with you since you both think, since they think the world of you. I can't recommend her enough. Happy to discuss her over the phone. Can I connect you guys? Then I have another girl that reached out to me today and she's like a rock star on somebody else's team. When you think about that and you start seeing those things pop up, what does that tell you is gonna happen in the economy? Or has it already happened? So when you see people that are like, the housing market is blowing up and da-da-da, it's like, guys, you gotta be so careful. You have to have your ears to the ground and actually know what the heck is going on in the market. If all these people are letting go of it's like, if I let go of Molly, would that not be a sign of something really bad happening? That's the thing, is like, these people are letting go of their Molly. And when somebody says, well, when the market is bad, that's where most people make all their money. It's because guys like me who are using different strategies and being intelligent about resources, we can win in a bad economy because everybody lets go of their good people. And if you get let go of, even if you love the employer that you're with and you get let go of and you go on anybody's team, let alone my team, forget my team, you get let go of and you get on somebody else's team in a bad economy and that person is like your savior, even when the economy comes back, are you gonna go back to your previous employer? No, hell no. So you pick up all the A+ talent in a bad economy. So all this stuff that's going on, the light rail, okay, had just been installed. And so if you're really smart, you go into that neighborhood and all you do is you knock and you buy those properties and you sit on them. I bought that property for like 120 grand. It's now worth like 550. but it's not going to stop either. Like a lot of these things, when you look at the path of progress, they talk about how like people have already bought this. Somebody bought this cash, this liquor store. A developer bought that. And so what are they doing? They are renting it to the liquor store for a couple of years until it's time to tear it down. But they're not going to tear it down right now. They're going to wait for their other projects to finish and then they'll tear it down. So right now the developer's cash flowing on that liquor store. It's just like nobody really stops and looks at what's going on in their city. You just drive around and look at ugly houses.
For a while.
When you were driving around on your BMX all the time, did people like me drive by and go, there's a homeless guy?
No. I mean, maybe, who knows?
I was like, I'd probably be like, that guy's got to be homeless. He doesn't have any brakes on his bike. Do you know that BMX people don't have brakes on their bike? Fun fact. So anyway, this property that we're about to go see with this Carol lady, and then we're going to go over to Arcadia, is right here in this path of progress. So Caroline is like, hey, it doesn't really cash. Now, of course, it doesn't cash flow because I got to go back and restructure the original note, right? Even though it might break even, this is all the path of progress. Like you just buy, this is the thing that boggles my mind about people is that they're so focused on, I need only cash flow. When that property on Lemon, there's $400,000 in equity sitting on that property. How do I use that $400,000? I now use that $400,000 as leverage to go raise money for another project. I put my private money lenders against that $400,000 in equity, and those private money lenders then give me money for other projects. So that house is cash flowing, has provided $400,000 in equity for me to leverage against. And then when interest rates go back down again, I'll go through and I'll refinance a ton of those properties, actually pull cash out tax-free, and then redeploy it into a bunch of stuff. The cool thing is, even though interest rates are really high, I would never refinance that, but I can still leverage against the equity. And people are like, oh, what are you doing with all your houses with equity? I'm like, I'm using it. They're like, well, how? I don't have to refinance my property to leverage my equity. I can use that to go and raise money for other projects. So there's a property in Houston I bought last summer, 580 units, and I had to come up with $2 million for it. I didn't have $2 million. So I raised $2 million from private money lenders, and the person who let me get into that deal, the 580 unit, was like, I can't have you have a second lien position on our property, and you got to figure that out a different way. So I couldn't raise $2 million and put the lien of the private money lenders on the property. So I just went to properties like Lemon or other properties that had all this equity on them, leveraged those, and got deployed into that deal. And I probably, that one deal will end up making me $10 million in a couple of years because of how I leveraged myself into it with creative finance. So again, like somebody will look at this house differently than I will look at this house because I understand what's going on in the market and how I can use the property differently than just, is it cash flowing? When you're brand new, you're like, I want cash flow. And then you realize the properties you let go of or you turn down, ones that go up $200,000 in 24 months or $150,000 in 24 months. Ooh, really? Oh, I'm supposed to go right.